Okay, very good. Okay, let's start. Okay, welcome everyone. Good evening. So my name is Mr. Yang Iskandar. Okay, so today I'm going to share with you the topic of percentage. Right, the first time you learn percentage is at primary 5, where percentage is first introduced sometime in the second semester at primary 5. Now, as all of you know, the topic of percentage is very, very closely related to uh, three very important topics. Number one, the topic of fraction. Number two, the topic of ratio. And thirdly, the topic of decimals. Okay, and including percentage, these four topics are very, very closely related. Okay, so if you are to score or to do well in the topic of percentage, you must be very, very familiar or very proficient in the topic of fractions as well as ratio and decimal. Okay, so that is why many students at the end of primary 5 or at the beginning of primary 6, they have very much difficulty doing or solving the more challenging percentage problems. Okay, one of the reason is a poor foundation or understanding on the concepts of percentage. What is percentage? What does percentage means? And how you can apply the different problem solving strategies on the topic of percentage. Okay, so before we move on to the more challenging part, we need to really, really understand the basics of percentage. Okay, so what we will learn in today's lesson is why we learn percentage. Okay, maths is very closely related to daily life. Now, many students they tell me, teacher, why do I study this maths? I will not use maths, this formula when I go to work next time or in my life at all. Okay, but the topic of percentage later I'll show you that it is very, very relevant to daily life. Okay, you see percentage almost everywhere and all the time. Okay, then after that, we will learn on the basic concepts of percentage. What does percentage means? Why we study percentage? Okay, then we will move on to finding the whole of percentage. The percentage changes in real life. Okay, if we mean, say, our percentage marks increase by 15% or our result dropped by 5%, what do we mean by percentage increase or decrease? Okay, then we are going to move on to calculate, okay, the how to calculate percentage increase and percentage decrease. Okay, all right. Now let's go back to the slide here. So we can see that percentage is everywhere. So you can see this advertisement, 70% off the fares. Okay, if 3 days only, book by 15 August 2013, travel from 22nd of August to 27th of May. So there is 70% off the fare. Okay, so you see this very common in advertisement, in newspapers, in television advertisements. Okay, so you can see here, the other one, another poster, Great Singapore Sale, 50% off. So if you go shopping, you will see a lot, okay, you'll see a lot of advertisement, okay, telling you about discounts, percentage discount, okay, and the other one is Great Singapore Sale, okay, 70% discount, okay. So you can see percentage is very much in daily life. Okay, right. So can all of you hear me? Okay, who cannot hear me? Maksud we can hear. Okay, perhaps Sophie and Hamza, you may want to adjust your internet connection. Okay, now let's take a look at percentage. Now percentage can be quite misleading or it can be misinterpreted very easily. Okay, so that is why it's very important that you understand the concepts of percentage very, very well. Okay, because a lot of salesperson or marketers, they use percentage, or businesses, they use percentage to make a certain product, very cheap, all right, to make a certain product lots of discount, or to manipulate certain figures so that the data looks very impressive. Okay, so that is why you must really understand the meaning of percentage so that you will not be cheated or be misled into understanding data wrongly. So I'll give you a very simple and interesting example. Okay, all of you take a look at this situation. Last month, I bought a pair of socks for $5. Last week, the shop had a sale and dropped the price of socks by $25. And this week, they raised the price by 25%. So now the same socks I bought last month are selling for $4.69. Aha. You see any problems here? Now, is the information here given correct or wrong? $4.69. Any problems here? Okay, anyone? Masood, what is the issue here? What's the problem? Okay, anyone? So you can see here, at first $5, drop the price by 25%, and then increase back by 25%, and it is selling at $4.69. They raise the price so that it must be more than $5. Okay, not really. So you can see here, at first, the shop drops the price by 25%, and then this week raise the price by the same percentage, 25%. Okay, by 25%. And now the purchase price is $4.69 instead of $5. So do you find it strange? Okay, do you think are there any problems with this situation? Is there any problem with this situation? So actually, it's not. There's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with this question. The answer is correct. $4.69 is correct. So, but you can see that it is quite strange because you drop the price by 25%, and then you increase the price, the discounted price by the same amount of percentage, which is 25%, and the price goes to $4.69 rather than $5. Okay, so you can see here. Later we'll come back to this question. We see why this is the case. Okay, so I'm going to give you another situation. Let's take a look at this. Okay, Ali increased his maths test, not this, his maths test from 20 to 25 marks. Bala went from 50 to 55 marks. And Charlie rose from 90 to 100 marks. So all three students experienced the exact same change of marks, which is 5 marks. Okay. Now, because the context varies, each student is working to improve on his unique score. However, the percentage change is very different. Now, let's take a look at how the change is presented in the form of percentage. Okay, okay, ignore school. Okay, Ali, you can see Ali, his marks improved by 25%. Bala, his marks improved by 10%. But Charlie, his grades improved by only 5.3%. Okay, so you can see that when you look solely at percentages, okay, the figures are difficult to interpret and it can be very, very deceptive. Okay, let's take a look at this table. Okay, in 2016, Ali gets 20 marks, and 2017, his marks improved by 5 marks, and Bala, okay, this Bala, 50 marks to 55, okay, and 90 marks to 100. So you can see here, even though the marks increased by 5 marks, but Ali here increased by 25%, Charlie here increased by 10%, and Bala increased by 5.3%. Okay, so you can see here, if you are given just the percentage figure, okay, without understanding the situation, okay, which is this, Okay, it can be very deceptive. Okay, so you can see here how percentage can be quite confusing. Huh? Okay, now let's move on to the basics of percentage. What does percentage means? Okay, now let's take a look at this square. How many squares are shaded blue? Anyone? How many squares are shaded blue? Okay, can I have Shahada or Fazana? How many squares are shaded blue? So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 65. Okay, very good. So what is the total number of squares in the grid? Total how many? Total 100. So what percentage of the grid is shaded blue? What percentage of the grid is shaded blue? 65%. Okay, well done. Very good. So you can see here, there are 65 blue squares. Okay, 65 out of 100 square. Okay, if we are to present in percentage in fraction form, it will be 65 over 100 or 65 out of 100. And to express in percentage form, it is expressed as 65%. So you can see here, this is the symbol, right? The percent symbol. Okay, this symbol means percent, right? Percent. Okay, so 65%. So percent means per 100. Okay, percent means per 100. So 65% basically it is the same as 65 over 100. So the base here is fixed at 100. All right. So that is a basic foundation of percentage. Likewise, say the percentage is 30%. So what does 30% means? 30% means is equals to 30 over 100, right? 30 over 100 because 30% means 30 over 100, 30%. So 30 over 100. All right. Okay, very good. Now let's move on. Now, how many squares are shaded blue right now? How many squares are shaded blue right now? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 65. Now, what about the total number of squares? Is it still 100? What about the total number of squares? Is it still 100? Anyone? Can all of you count the total number of squares? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it will be 65 out of 130. Okay, 65 out of 130. Now, can we say that 65% of the squares are blue? Can we say that it is 65%? No, right? Now, what's the reason? Why we cannot say it is 65%? Anyone? Why you cannot say that it is 65%? Very good, Hamza, because it is not over 100, right? Percentage is over 100. So in this case, it is 65 out of 130 squares. So it is not 65%. Then the next question is, how do we change this to percentage? Okay, right? So we can see here. Now, what percentage of the grid is shaded blue? So since it's 65 out of 130, so 65 over 130 multiplied by 100%. Okay, 65 over 130 times 100%. Okay, so you simplify, you cancel off the zero, all right? what you get is that you get 50%. Okay, you get 50% instead of 65%. Why? Because 65 here, it is 65 out of 130. And remember, percentage is of 100%. Okay, so 65 over 130 times 100%, you get 50%. Okay, any problems? No, so you can see here, if you are given any percentage, okay, any percentage, and they ask you to convert to percentage, all you need to do is multiply by 100%. Okay, let's take a very simple example. Let's say half. Now half. What is half in percentage? What is half in percentage? Simple, right? So half times 100%. Okay, half times 100%. Okay, you cancel off the 2, cancel off the 100, you get 50. So the answer is 50%. Easy peasy? Very good. Okay, so you can do the same for any fraction. Okay, even whole number. Let's say, what is 2.5 in percentage? What is 2.5? So this is one of the past PSLE question, 1 mark question. What is 2.5 in percentage? So what do you do? How you convert 2.5 to percentage? Now some students say it is 2.5%. Is it correct, 2.5%? Anyone? Can you tell me what is 2.5 in percentage? 250. Very good. So how do you get 250? So you multiply by 100%. Okay, multiply by 100%. Okay, so what you get? You shift the decimal point 2 steps to the right. So you get 250%. Okay, 250%. Now, remember the percentage sign. 250 and 250% is very different. Okay, 250 and 250% is very different. Example, since half is 50%, so 1 whole will be equals to 1 whole is 100%. Okay, so remember this. So if you put 100 without the percentage sign, it is wrong because 100 and 100% is very different. So this is a very common error. So take note, when you are doing a percentage, make sure you write the percentage sign down. Okay? All right, now let's move on to some other examples. Now, if 30% of the grid is shaded pink, how many squares are shaded? If 30% of the grid is shaded pink, how many squares are shaded? So what we need to do is that we need to count the number of squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So total there are 100 squares here. So 30% of 100, 30 over 100 multiplied by 100, you get 30. Okay, so you have to shade 30 squares. Okay, so this is very simple. Okay, next. Let's move on. Now, what about this? If 30% of the grid is shaded pink, how many squares are shaded? No. Can anyone tell me what's the answer here? If 30% of the grid is shaded pink, how many squares are shaded? So you can see here, the total number of squares is not 100. So it is how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can see there are 80 squares. So 30% of 80. 30% of 80. So 30%, remember, percentage means per 100, right? So 30 out of 100 multiply, of means multiply by 80 squares. So if you simplify this, cancel off, 8 multiplied by 3, you get 24. Okay, so how many pink squares should you shade? How many squares should you shade? You should shade only 24, not 30. Okay, because 30 over 100 multiplied by 80 squares. There are 80 squares, so 30% of 80 is 24. Okay, so you should shade 24 squares. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, the P5, do you get me? The P5, do you understand? Yes, huh? Okay, very good. Barely, Dana, have you started learning percentage in school? No, oh, no wonder. Okay, no problem. This is a very basic. Okay, I understand that the topic of percentage is a problem to many students, including the P6s. Okay, so no problem. Later on, I will upload this video webinar on YouTube. Then you can, review the lessons again. Okay, let's move on. If 30% of the grid is shaded yellow, how many squares are shaded? Now, can anyone work out this answer? Okay, I give you about 1 minute to work this out. If 30% of the grid is shaded yellow, how many squares are shaded? Okay, let's see who can get the answer first. 15. Okay, Hamza gets 15. Anyone else? Anybody has a different answer? Okay, let's count. How many squares are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 50 squares, right? So 30% of 50. Okay, 30% of 50. What does of means? Of means multiply, right? Okay, of 50. So equals to, remember, percent means per 100. Okay, so 30 over 100 multiply by 50. So you take note, now let's change it. You see 30%, 30%, right? When I change to 30 over 100 here, you notice that the percentage sign, this sign here is gone. Okay, you do not put the percentage sign here. What's the reason? Because this percentage sign has been replaced by over 100, right? Remember, what does percentage means? Percentage means per 100. So I've converted here from percentage to fraction, right? So 30% is 30 over 100. And then you multiply by 50, which is the number of squares, the total number of squares. Okay, so if you simplify, okay, 100 cancel off, then cancel off. 3 multiplied by 5, okay, you get 15 answer. Okay, so you should shade 15 squares. Okay, well done, everyone. Very good. Okay, so let's move on. So we are going to do more challenging problems on percentage very shortly. So I hope you have understood everything so far. Okay, let's do some activity. I have some problems for you or very simple calculations for you to work on. Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay, I give you all 5 minutes to do this. You can use your calculators. Okay, you bring your calculators. Okay, you can use your calculators. Okay, let's do the first one together. Okay, let's do the first one together. Okay, 35% of 6,800. Okay, so 35 is 35. We convert to fraction. It is 35 over 100%. Right, and then you multiply by $6,800. So what do you get? 2,380. Very good. Okay, now what about this? 35% of 680. Okay, 238. What about the next one? Next one is 23.8. Okay, very good. Okay, 23.8. Okay, what about the next one? Okay, 35% of $6.80. Okay, $2.38. Okay, very good. Now, what about next one? Question number 5. 110% of 6,800. What do you get? What is 110? So, right-wise, 110. What does 110 means? So, 110 means simply it is 110 over 100 multiplied by 1,800. Okay, what do you get? 7,400. Okay, remember the dollar sign? 7,480. Okay, 7,780. Okay, so you take note. So I want you to take a look very carefully. Okay, if you take a look here, 100% of 6,800. You notice here that the answer must be more than 6,800. Now, do you know why? Do you know the reason why your answer is more than 6,800? Anyone knows? Okay, this is very important when you are answering questions on a percentage, whether your answers make sense or not. Okay, so by you know that 110% must be more than 6,800. Reason being 6,800 is 100%. So now you have more than 100%, which is 110. So the final answer must be more than 6,800. Okay, understand that? Okay, very good. So the rest, I think you can work out yourself. So it is the same method, same technique. 110 over 100 multiplied by 680. Likewise here, multiply by 68, and here multiply by $6.80. Okay? Okay, very good. Now, the next part of percentage is that to find the whole. Okay, what do I mean finding the whole? Okay, let's take a look at this first example. Okay, Meiji spent $30 to buy a book. This was 25% of her pocket money. How much was her pocket money? Now, first of all, let's ask ourselves. Now, can you tell me, is her pocket money more or less than $30? Will her pocket money be more or less than $30? Anyone? Must be more, right? Amy, you say less. Are you sure? It must be more, Amy. It must be more. Why? Okay, you take a look at this question. Meiji spent $30 to buy a book. Now, what does this mean? This referring to who? This is referring to the $30. Okay, this is referring to the $30. So this $30 is only 25% of her pocket money. So her pocket money, her total pocket 100%, right? Her total pocket money is 100%. So they ask you how much was her pocket money. Now let's solve this problem. There are a few ways to solve this problem. Let's take a look at the first method. Okay, so method number one, okay, is simply to or apply or make the 25% into 100. Okay, how we do this? Since 25% is $30, right? Since 25%, this 25% means $30. So if 25% is $30, 100% you need to multiply by 4, right? 25% multiplied by 4, you get 100%. Likewise, if on the left side you multiply by 4, the right side also you multiply by 4. So $30 multiplied by 4, you get $120. So $120 is her pocket money. Okay, $120 is her pocket money. Okay, if you don't understand this, we can illustrate in the form of a model. Okay, we can also use a model to make you understand better. Okay, let's take a look at this. Now, Meiji spent $30 and this is 25% of money. And we know that the total amount of money she has is 100%. Okay, so this entire bar here, this entire bar represents the total amount of money that she has. But this 25% which she used to buy a book is only 25% or $30. Okay, so you can see here, this part here is $30, which is 25% of her entire pocket money. So how much was her pocket money? So to get her pocket money, first you divide by 25. Okay, you get 20 divide by 25, you get 1%. Okay, to find 1%. And then after that, to get 100%, what you do is you multiply by 100. So you get total of $120. Okay, $120. So same answer, okay, but here this is more visual, okay, by using the model. Alright, so for a start, you may want to use model so that you can understand or visualize the problem better. Okay, now let's take a look at the next question here. Jill gave her sister 270 stickers. This is 45% of her collection of stickers. How many stickers does Jill have at first? So in other words, Jill gave 270 stickers, which is 45% of the total number of stickers that she had at first. Okay, so how do we show this? Since the entire number of stickers is 100%, and she gave the sister 270 stickers, which is 45% of her entire collection, okay, which is 100%. So 45% is 270. So we find 1%, right? We find 1%, 270 divide by 45. And then we find 100%. We multiply by 100. Okay, so you get 600. All right, you get 600. So you can see here, total number of stickers that Jill have at first is 600. So 600 is from here to here. Okay, ignore the dollar sign. There's an error here. So it's just 270 stickers. So total number of stickers that she has is 600 stickers. All right. Okay, now let's take a look at the next type of question, which is percentage change in real life. Okay, this has a very useful application in our daily life. Let's take a look at this example. So you can see here, very common. If you go shopping, you can see this very common advertisement. A computer fair, 15% discount, or drop by 15%. Now, naturally humans, we like discounts, right? So I'm sure all of you have been shopping, right? Do you like discounts? You say, oh, 50% discount. So everybody is attracted by discounts, right? Especially Singaporeans are very kiasu, right? We like to go for discounts. Okay. So likewise, sellers or businessmen, okay, they tend to use discount as effective way to sell their products. Okay. So So that's why it's very important that we understand percentage, so that we do not get cheated by the advertisers or the shop owners. Okay. Now let's take a look at this example. This is in Straits Times. 14% hike in school bus fares, too hefty. I was shocked to learn that the fare will be raised to $78. I recall that just 6 months ago, it went up by 7% from $68 to $73. Okay, so this is a very common newspaper report where numbers are presented in percentage form. Okay, another example here. Tourists to Singapore up 18% compared to August last year. 996,000 arrival. Okay, so you can see here 18%. Very common in newspaper reports. So what do we mean by 18%? Okay, so we are going to take a look here. 18% increase. What do we mean by 18% increase? Okay, now let's take a look at first before increase, we take a look at decrease. Now during a sale, the price of video game was reduced by 15% to $170. Now what was the original price of the video game? What was the original price of video game? Now let me ask you, now, is the original price of the video game more than or less than $170? Anyone? Okay, is the original price of video game more or less? More, right? Okay, this is the first thing that you need to understand. Okay, so during the sale, the price of video game was reduced by, okay, this is very important. This word by 15% and reduced to 15%, they are very, very different. Okay, so you must read the question very carefully. So the price of the video game was reduced by 15% to $170. So all this, all these words has very significant meaning. So you must understand this and be very, very careful. Okay, so let's present this in the form of a model. Okay, so the original price is 100%. Okay, we take the original price or the usual price. Original price is 100%. Now, because of the sale, the video game was reduced by $15. So from 100% becomes 85%. Now, how do I get this 85%? Anyone knows? How do I get 85%? Amy, how do I get 85%? Very good. 100% minus 15%. Okay. So reduced by 15%. So what happened is that the video game was sold at 85% of the original price. You understand this? The video game during the sale, it was sold at 85% of the original price. Why is it sold at only 85%? Because there was a discount of 15%. Understand? Now, since the discounted price is $170, right? It's $170. So you can see $170 is 85%. So 85% is $170. Now, what was the original price? The original price is, we need to find what is 100%. Okay, how do you find what is 100%? Very simple. 170 divide by 85 multiply by 100. Okay, and you get $200. So check, you can see that $200 is more than $170. Okay, and this $200 is 100%, which is the usual price. Okay. Okay, I'm sure even my P6 students, some of my P6 students can be confused, okay, by this percentage discount, price increase and price decrease. Okay, so make sure you understand, or if you don't understand, you use models to help you visualize the problem. Okay, now let's take a look at another example. Now, during a sale, the price of a video game was reduced by 40%. Now, instead of earlier, it was 15%. Now, this time around, it was reduced by 40% to $96. Okay, so how many percent does he have to pay? So this $96 represent 60%. How do I get 60%? 100 minus 40, right? 100 minus 40, I get 60%. So 60% from here to here is $96. So 1% is 96 divided by 90, by 96 divided by 60, all right? 100%. So you just multiply by 100. So you get $160. Okay? All right, everyone? Are you confused? Anyone confused here? So you all right? No, Hamza, very good. What about the P5 students? Are you okay or not? If you understand, you're very good, you know. All right, so you're excellent. If you're a P5 student, if you understand, okay, you're excellent. Okay, you can get quite fast. If you don't understand, for the P5 it's normal. For the P6s, I expect you to understand immediately. Okay, so for the P5, if you don't understand, no worries. Okay, you can always review this lesson again later on. All right, because some of you have just started learning percentage, or some of you have not even have not even started in school. So not to worry, yeah, if you find this quite overwhelming, right? Now let's take a look at next example. At a shop, the sale of music DVD dropped by 8% from July to August. Okay, the sale of DVD dropped by 8%. In July, the number of DVDs was sold. The sold was 3,600. Okay, from July to August, and the number of DVDs sold was 3,600. So you can see here. Now this in July. Okay, this is 3,600 is in July, right? So from July to August, there is a decrease by 8%. Now, can you tell me in August, the amount or the number of DVDs sold, will it be more or less than 3,600? Anyone? It'll be less, right, Hamza? Will be less. Now, why less? Anyone knows why the DVD sold in August will be less than 3,600? Do you know why less? Without looking at the answer, just by looking at the question, you know that the answer must be less. If you get the answer more than 3,600, something is wrong. Anyone can tell me why? What's the reason? Very good. So you can see here in the question, they tell you that the sale drop. The sale drop. So if the sale drop, must be less, right? So 3,600 in July, in August must be less than 3,600. So I'm saying the obvious, right? But to some students, when they do mechanically without thinking, sometimes the answer is more than 3,600. They just accept and and just take it as the correct answer. Okay, so as you are reading the question, as you are doing, so you must be thinking, checking and thinking at the same time. Okay, that your answer must be less than 3,600. Okay, now let's see how this is done. Now, since in July, the number of DVD sold was 3,600, and this represents 100%. Okay, original is 100%. And then drop by 8%. Drop by 8% from 100 becomes 92. How do I get 92%? 100 minus 8%, you get 92. Now, what is the amount here? What is the number of DVD sold here? Okay, so very simple. 100%, right? 100% is 3,600. So we find 1%, 3,600 divided by 100, you get 36, right? You can cancel out the zeros, you get 36. And since they asked for the number of DVDs sold in August, which is here 92%, you just multiply by 92, and you get 3,312. Okay? Is everyone okay? Good, huh? All right. Let's move on to the next example. Huh? The rent of the shop was $9,000 last month. If the rent is decreased by 25% this month, what was the rent this month? Okay, so last month was $9,000 and there's a decrease by 25%. So now the person only has to pay 75% instead of 100, right? Reason being, there is a decrease by 25%. So since 100% is $9,000, now what is 75%? So 9,000 divided by 100 multiply by 75 and you get 6,750. And you can see here it is less than 9,000, right? Because why? He is paying lesser, okay, in this month because there was a decrease by 25%. Right? Okay, very good. Huh? Now, what about percentage increase? So just now, we have looked at example of percentage decrease. Now, percentage increase is just the opposite. Okay, it is just the opposite, the other way around. Okay, now let's take a look at this example. Jane has $200 pocket money in January. If her pocket money was increased by 10%, how much pocket money will she have in February? So in January, $200. Now in February, increased by 10%. So it means that she will get 110%. Okay, so 100% is $200. 1%, you just divide by 100. And 110%, okay, you multiply by 110, you get 220. Right, so you can see here, this is 220, right? Why 220? Because the amount of pocket money was increased by 10%. Okay, all of you got that? Everyone clear? Yes, huh? Okay, very good. Anyone confused? No, no problem. If you're confused, don't worry. When I upload to YouTube, we can review the questions again. Huh? Okay, well done. Oh, Nakib, you're here. Huh? Okay, this is method number 2. Just now was method number 1. You can solve this question in another way. Okay, so instead of finding 110%, what you do is you find 10%. Okay, how does it go? Now, since the original pocket money she gets is $200, now 100% is $200. There was an increase by 10%, so you find the 10% here first. What is 10% of 200? So 10% of 200 is $20. Okay, but you need to add on another step, right? Because the question asks how much money will she have in February. Okay, so you need to add $200 plus the amount increase, and the total money she has right now is $220. Okay, so this amount of pocket money she will have in February. Why? Because there was an increase by 10%. Right? Okay, Amy asks, what's the difference between method 1 and method 2? Now, let's go back again. So, method number 1, okay, what happens in method number 1? You straight away find 110%. Right? Why? Because in February, there is an increase by 10%. Right? So, 100% plus 10% is 110%. Right? So, straight away from 100%, you find 1%, and then you find 110%. Right? Now, in method number 2, let's take a look at method number 2. So, in method number 2, you have to add one more step. Okay, why I say add one more step? Okay, so in method number 2, instead of finding 110%, you find 10%. So, what is 10%? 10% is the percentage increase here. So, when you can find the percentage increase, so this percentage increase is $20, right? So, the question asks, how much pocket money did she have in February? So, you need to add Okay, February is from here to here. You need to add this $200 plus $20. Okay, so that is the difference. Okay, I see most students they prefer step number 2 or method number 2. Is it correct? I personally prefer step or method number 1 because it's faster, right? You save one step, but no problem. Many students prefer step number 2 because they don't like to deal with percentage which is more than 100%. No problem at all. Okay, as long as anything which is comfortable for you and you get the correct answer, that is very important. Okay, let's take a look at another example. Paul has $70 pocket money last week. If her pocket money was increased by 15%, how much pocket money will she have this week? So similar, the only difference is the percentage. So 100% is $70. So you find 1% and then you find 115%. So 70 divided by 100 multiplied by 115, you get $80.50. Right? $80.50. Very similar to the previous question. Okay? All right. So method number 2. So 100% is $70. You find 15% and then you add. Okay, $70. You add with the amount which is 15%. You get $10.50. You get $80.50. Okay, I'm going to end there. There is only 2 more slides. Okay, only 2 more slides. All right. Now, one last question. One last question. Let's take a look here. So 2 more questions. 2 more questions. 2 more slides. Okay. Now, each tin of pineapple tart costs $10.40 today. The price is increased by 20% from last week. So how much does each tin of pineapple tart cost last week? So this is a slight twist to the question. Okay, there's a slight twist to the question. So take note now, you must read very carefully the clues given to you. Okay, so each tin of pineapple tart costs $10.40 today. And the price, now the price, what does the price means? The price here means it is referring to this $10.40. Okay, take note, the price here refers to this $10.40 is increased by 20% from last week. So that means this $10.40, is it the new price or this week price or last week's price? Anyone can tell me, is this $10.40 the new price or the original price? Okay, are you following? I repeat again my question. This $10.40, is this the new price or the original price? Original, right? How do you know original? Because they say that this $10.40 is the price increase after the 20% price increase, right? This is the new price increase. So you can see here, $10.40 is 120%, right? The last week's price was 100%. That was the original. So how much does each tin of pineapple tart cost last week, which was the original price? Okay, so 120% is $10.40, right? So you find 1% here, okay, and then you find 100%. Right? So 100% is $8.32. So this is the price of the pineapple tart last week. So after a 20% increase, the new price is $10.40. Okay? Okay, so you must be very, very careful, okay, when you read percentage question. You must read what are they asking, what does the price represent? Does the price represent the original price or the new price? Okay? All right, now let's take a look at last question for tonight. Okay, at a market, the monthly store rental is increased by 30% with effect from November. Now, Mr. Lim, a fruit seller, pays a monthly rental of $3,380 in November. How much rental did he have to pay in October? Now, this 3,380, is it the original price or is it the new price? Can anyone tell me? This 3,380, is it the new rental or the original rental? Anyone? Anyone? Hello? Are you all there? Is 3,380 the original rental or the new rental? The new rental. Okay, very good, Hamza. At least you're listening. Okay, how do we know it's new rental? From the question, right? The question tell you that the monthly store rental is increased by 30% with effect from November. So Mr. Lin pays a monthly rental of 3,380 in November, right? So this 3,380 is after the 30% increase, right? So if we were to draw the model, so in November, he paid 3,380, right? And this is after the 30% increase from the original. So original is 100%. So the increase by 30%, you get 130, right? So we need to find how much did he pay in in October, which is 100%. So 130% is 330. Find 1%, divide by 130. So 100% is just multiplied by 100. So you get 2,600, right? So you can see that 2,600 is lesser than 3,380. Must be less. Why? Because in November, there was an increase. So in October, the answer must be less than 3,380. Right? After you do the working, the answers, you get more than 3,380, then something is wrong. Okay, so you have to recheck your working and make sure you do not make any mistakes. All right, everyone? Okay, so we have come to the end of today's lesson.